Episode 10, Chapter 4 of the course on CaoDai, the principles of CaoDai. There are four main principles. First, I am you, my children, and children, you are me, oneness of God, human, and the universe. Second, the human Tao is peace. Third, the divine Tao is liberation. And fourth, love and justice. Learning objectives. 1. Know the principle of oneness between God, human, and the universe. 2. Know the principle and goal of attaining peace in the secular life. 3. Know the ultimate principle of union with God. 4. Know the principle of unconditional love. And 5. Observe the principle of justice toward all.
1. I am you, my children, and children, you are me, oneness of God, human, and the universe. The first and fundamental principle resides in the phrase that God addresses to humanity. I am you, my children, and children, you are me. The following scripture's message illustrate the emanation of God to form the universe and the oneness of God, human, and the universe. This message of the emanation from the One is repeated throughout the teachings of CaoDai. You are a spiritual being on earth, sharing with me my spiritual light essence. Thus, you are given the key to the kingdom, so you can be the mundane plane or the celestial kingdom at will.
Thánh giáo sưu tập 1966-1967, page 36.
God has granted humanity the key that can open the world or the gate of heaven at our will. That key is love, which will be discussed further on. It is noteworthy that everything depends on us. If we are veiled by our sexual defilement, we will be in a mundane plane. On the other hand, discovering and practicing love, we can open the celestial kingdom and experience bliss. Man and God are the same essence. We persevere in our endeavor and we become God.
Thánh giáo sưu tập 1966-1967, page 229.
With only my spirit I have created Buddhas, immortals, saints, genies, and all humans, beings in the universe. Therefore, you are me, I am you. CSCDHM, page 58. The phrase, you are me, I am you. Các con lại thầy là các con conveys the meaning that God is the great sacred light and living beings and are the little sacred lights, which derive from the emanation from the great sacred light. The equivalent of Hindu Atman is Brahman. This notion constitutes the goal of CaoDai, which is to show that we all have a divine principle inside ourselves. This self, the real self, is called Tan Tam, holy heart, Lin Tam, spiritual heart, Yao Tam, heart of the Tao, Fat Tam, Buddha heart, or Buddha nature, or Buddhata Thata, Nu La Bon Tang, body of the Tang Tathagata. Christ in you, Atman, the divine self, the spiritual self, is to be distinguished from the common self, the ego or Bam Tan, profane heart, which exists on the surface of our thoughts and feelings, narrow and limit. When the common self, Bam Tan, is quieted, we will see the holy heart, the Tan Tam, emerge and this emergence constitutes our spiritual goal.
We will pause here for 30 seconds and resume soon. As said above, when the common self, the phàm tâm, is quieted, we will see the holy heart or the thánh tâm emerge. And this emergence constitutes our ultimate spiritual goal. The authors would have fulfilled their wish if the reader finds his real self, the holy heart, and reaches the union with the divine principle. One CaoDai text states, thật là diệu diệu quyền quyền, trời người có một chẳng riêng khác gì. This is indeed beautifully mysterious. God and man are one in essence. There is no difference. From Đại Thừa Chân Giáo, 1984, page 65. Therefore, it is crucial that we find our real self, our divine self, by returning deep inside us to the source from which we originally sprang, quieting down our human self and becoming detached from our worldly life. Once the divine self surfaces, we feel an extreme happiness and contentment. We become clear and light. This process corresponds to the state of being described by Eckhart Tolle. He said that this state does not reduce the infinite invisible to a finite entity. It is your very essence, and it is immediately accessible to you as the feeling of your own presence, the realization of I am, that is prior to I am this or I am that. From The Power of Now, 2004, page 14. Similarly, we find in Christianity, the kingdom of God is within you in Luke 17:21. The Spirit of God is within you, 1 Corinthians 3:16. From the Quran to page 156-158, we can read, verily we are God's, and verily to him shall we return. In Judaism, the Kabbalah recognizes the Ein Sof, the principle of God, as the center from which emanates the world. Hinduism says Atman is Brahman, or the individual soul is the divine soul. The Buddha said, I am the Buddha already enlightened. Human beings are Buddha yet to be enlightened. Each one of us has the Buddha nature deep within, which is the one, the essential, which exists in all. Confucianism believes that God is not far from humankind, and in fact resides in the innermost of our being. And our noblest duty is to rekindle the divine spark latent within ourselves. The Encyclopedia of Religions, 2nd edition, Detroit, 2004, page 6143, writes, The Tao or Tao is the unity, the creative principle underlying all particulars. Taoists celebrate the reality and value of particulars, space and time, person and nature, life and death, and all shades of being arising and returning to the Tao. The Tao is the one behind the many. From allabout6.com, Access July 5, 2017, we read, as the sparks rise from fire and fall back to it, thus particles rise from dust and go back to it. Waves are nothing but water. Similarly, all sentient and non-sentient beings emanate from God and will go back and merge with Him. As we can see, the tradition over diverse geographic area and through time meet at their esoteric mystical level, professing the existence of a spiritual self, the light in our innermost being that connects to us to the cosmic light, the divine essence of God.
For the second and third principles. 2. The human Tao is peace.
Nhân đạo Thái Bình.
Please see Chapter 2, The Goals of CaoDai, Episodes 3, 4, 5 of podcast. The divine Tao is liberation.
Thiên đạo giải thoát.
Please see Chapter 2, The Goals of CaoDai, Episodes 3, 4, 5 of the podcast. Love and justice harmony. Love is the source of life in the universe. With love, all living beings can be at peace, and the universe is tranquil. With peace and tranquility, there would be no animosity, no mutual destruction, and subsequently there would be maintenance of life and evolvement. God, CaoDai. Among the principles professed by CaoDai, the concept of harmony within the practice of love and justice constitutes as a fundamental lesson in our daily lives. Although the one principle exists in all in the universe, in all beings, life manifests differently, and we beings seem to depend very closely on one another so as to maintain the balance in the natural order of creation. This balance may be reached by the realization of harmony through love, compassion, and justice. Abundant literature addresses love, compassion, and justice, or the Golden Rule, and it is noteworthy that we find them in scriptures of all faiths. Love, compassion, and justice are both the manifestation and the basis for harmony. Harmony with God and harmony with humanity. Here is a brief overview of teachings of love and justice in major faiths, followed by more detailed accounts for CaoDai. In Christianity, love is the essential principle of life. Jesus said, "By this all we will know that you are my disciples, if you love for one another." John 13:35. And by this we know that we love the children of God. When we love God and keep His commandments. John 5:2-3.
Christian love, or agape, is not just a feeling. It is a selfless, unconditional, giving love. It is a lifestyle. Christian love means giving to others those things that you would want them to give you in the same situation and without expecting to be paid back. In fact, it means doing so especially if they cannot pay you back. Christian love, agape, goes hand in hand with justice. Therefore, whatever you want men to do to you, do also to them, for this is the law and the prophets. Matthew 7:12. This golden rule, do to others what you want others to do to you, form a fundamental teaching in Christianity.
One of the core commandments of Judaism is love your neighbor as yourself, Lev 19:18, which stands at the center of the Torah. Justice is at the heart of the Jewish notion of love. Justice is an institutionalization of love in society. This law of love requires that every man may be treated as a thou, a person, an end in himself, never merely as a thing or a means of another's end. In fact, acts of kindness are so much a part of Jewish law that the word mitzvah, literally commandment, is used to mean any good deed. Islam urges its followers to adopt mutual love all the time and encourages them to manifest that love. The Prophet said, "When a man loves his brother, he should tell him that he loves him." For Islam, justice represents the moral rectitude, virtue, and giving others equal treatment. It stands next to the order of priority to love for God and the truth of Muhammad's prophecy. God commands justice and fair dealing, Quran of 1690, and O you who believe, be upright for God and bearers of witness with justice, Quran 5:8.
Love and harmony and unity are expressed vividly in this passage from the episode of the Son of the World in the Baha'i faith. We are the fruits of one tree and the leaves of one branch. Deal ye one another with the utmost love and harmony, with friendliness and fellowship. He who is the day star of truth beareth me witness. So powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole earth. Aside from the emphasis on love, Baha'i believes in and teaches truthfulness, trustworthiness, and justice. Justice is the foundation for unity and harmony in the society. And to develop truthfulness, trustworthiness, and justice, and a life of service to all living beings is considered the essential effort in both thought and action. We shall pause here and shall address the Eastern religions at next episode. Thank you for listening.